guys, this is Jackie, your nerdy crafter. This week I wanted to make something a little different. Not long ago, my friend Rachel showed me an awesome shelf that glows in the dark. And I tried to see how to make it, but the video I saw was all pretty much industrial. So for this week's tutorial, without any power tools, you guys will learn how to make your very own rainbow glow-in-the-dark bookshelf, or of course you can use it as your art shelf. Feel free to have fun, experiment. You can make it as a bookshelf, you can make it as a table, a desk, anything that you want. I absolutely love this project. The way it glows in the dark is super vibrant. The trick is not being cheap with those glow-in-the-dark pigments. For those of you new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. There are plenty of geeky tutorials to keep you entertained. Equally, if you like this project, don't forget to leave a like and share.
Here's what you'll need for this project. A resin kit. You can find this in a craft store or home hardware store under the name epoxy resin. A wood stain if you want your board to be a different color, wood glaze, a cutter and a screwdriver, measuring cups and something to stir with, some glow-in-the-dark powders. I will leave a link in the description box below, and of course a wooden board to use for your shelf. The first thing we're going to do is cut the random shapes in our board. Use your cutter to outline the shape, then your screwdriver to carve it out. The deeper your shapes, the more resin you will need to fill them up. This part is the longest of the process, but the rest of it is much quicker. Don't worry about the wooden strands at the bottom. Those will be covered by our colors. To make a cut edge, you will do the same thing we did for the random shapes, but remove only part of the edge as well. This is going to give it a really cool effect that would kind of look like it's dripping, but not so much. If at any point you have some resistance from the wood coming off, take your project to a sturdy place and use your hammer to carve the pieces out. I don't have sophisticated tools, but if you do, go ahead and use them. It should look like this. Once your whole board has been carved, and if your edges are a little bit bumpy, feel free to sand them down so that they are even. Now cover your work surface with paper bags or newspaper because the resin sticks permanently to most surfaces. Before we pour our resin, let's tape the cut side we made on the edge so it doesn't flow everywhere. Use duct tape to seal it and push really hard. Feel free to put double tape because there's a possibility that some of it might leak through the first layer of tape, so it's better to stay protected. Now for the fun part! Mix your resin according to package instructions. Resin must be measured and stirred perfectly, otherwise it will not cure properly. If you're not experienced with resin, be sure to watch my resin crafting tips video that I will link in the description box below. Now mix lots of powder pigment and mix as many different colors as you want. Pour the colorful resin in the shapes without going over. Try to be as leveled as possible without going over the board. If you get any spills accidentally, gently remove it with rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip. Don't ever use water to clean resin. If you get bubbles in your resin, blow gently through a straw to get rid of them. Blowing without a straw will not work. Now let the resin completely harden overnight before the next step. Once the resin is completely hardened, remove any tape that we used on the edges. If there was some spilling of the colors, use your cutter and sandpaper to make it even again. Don't worry about not being shiny for now, the glaze at the end will totally fix it. Use your wood stain with a brush or a sponge. I did about 4 coats of stain on all the sides. If for some reason you accidentally get some stain on your resin, wipe it off with a Q-tip and rubbing alcohol. Be sure to stain until you have the color you're happy with. Let it fully dry, as per the instructions on the can. Of course, this part is completely optional. You don't have to go with a wooden color. You can have fun and experiment with any wood stain color that you like. For the final step, use the wood glaze on the board and the resin that was covered with the tape. Of course, you can glaze it with more resin, but that's entirely up to you. Now mount it and enjoy it. Since these powder pigments require light to shine in the dark, be sure to hang it somewhere where there's plenty of light so you can reap the benefits in the dark.
All done! I hope you guys enjoyed this project. The only thing that took a little longer than expected was to carve. But be sure to use your hammer and go for it. Have fun. Don't limit yourself to any shape. Feel free to make hearts or just go for it. If you have suggestions for future geeky tutorials, leave them in the comments section below. Don't forget to add me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. Especially Instagram. Until then, I will see you guys next week.